Have you ever gone to finish up a project and you listen to it and just something is wrong? Now, you can't put your finger on it, but something is off. Your dialogue, great. Your music, beautiful. Your timing, flawless, but there is something missing. 95% of the time when a mentee brings me a problem like this, it is typically due to sound design. Sound design is a vital part of finalizing any of your projects, and it can be the difference between drawing in a viewer into your world or kicking them out because they're disinterested because it seems fake. So today we're going to talk about the 4 things that you should be doing for every single project in order to enhance the sound design and depth. So let's go ahead and start off the bat with the most important, which is make sure that you capture ambiance. Now, when you go as far as to capture ambiance, you're bringing people into the world that you are creating because no room is completely silent. We might perceive it as being very quiet, but that's not the same as being silent. There's your ceiling fan, there's the hum of your refrigerator, the hum of your computer. There's always sound around us, so it's never truly silent. So whenever you get to a set or to a location, capture 3 to 5 minutes of just the environment that you are in. And when you capture the environment that you're in, you're going to see that putting that into your video and then placing your character into that environment is not only going to enhance your overall production, but also the viewer's experience of it because they get to look in and feel like they're in that world. The second most important concept is the concept of depth. Now, when I talk about depth, I'm talking about volume automation and reverb. Automating your volume means taking that volume from quiet to louder over time, and we perceive distance as volume. If you have somebody who's talking the same exact volume and they're 10 feet away and they start walking closer to you, even though they're speaking the same exact volume, it's going to get louder as they come closer to you. We can use that to our advantage as sound designers, as filmmakers. We can automate the volume in our tracks, in our recordings, so that our viewer perceives that as getting louder and that person or object getting closer. And then when I talk about reverb, I'm talking about placing a character into a specific environment. The more reverb and echoey we see something, we perceive that place as being larger than life, a lot bigger. So if we have a character and they're sitting in a cathedral, but they're talking and it's really dry and it's really dead, it's going to feel like they're not in the right space. If it's dry and dead, it's usually either in a studio, in a really small, cramped space. So we want to put them in the correct space with the usage of reverb. The third most important thing is automating your pans. When we live in the real world, things move from left to right across our stereo imaging field. So you can do that in your films as well. When you have a car that's moving from left, moving across the center and going from right, you can pan that sound so that it also moves across the listener's stereo field. Now you want to be careful with this. You don't want to do it too much because it's going to disorient your listener. So you want to make sure that you do it tastefully. You do it a little bit. They're not supposed to say, hey, that's moving across from left to right. They're supposed to notice it, but more so on a subconscious level. So putting that little bit of extra effort into it is going to enhance the overall production. And listen guys, if you are getting anything out of this, please just take a second, go ahead and like this video. Comment down below if you've learned anything new. But on to the 4th and final point, sounds do not have to be what they appear to be. You can create new sounds and combine sounds in order to improve the effectiveness of the actual sound. So let's say you're capturing 2 separate skateboard documentaries. One is about a kid who skateboards in order to avoid an abusive family. The other is about a kid who is a champion and he's skateboarding in order to protect his title. They both do a trick. They both land the trick perfectly fine. But in the first one, you can have a sound of a door slamming for that abusive kid. And in the second one, you can have, I don't know, people cheering that person on to victory. Combining these sounds, adding sounds that aren't necessarily relevant to the sound themselves, but to the overall production, draws people into the actual film because it makes them feel like they are there. Maybe in real life, that's not how things would go, but it draws them into the actual production because you add another layer of depth. But these are the 4 things from an audio engineer that you should be doing for every project to enhance the realism, the depth, and to enhance your overall production. Thank you guys so much for joining in on this video, and I will catch you in the next one.